Hi, my name is Ruben Gallegos, and my Writer's Update project title is High School Athletics and Academic Success. My research question is, to what extent do high school athletics push students to do better in school than non-athletes? Now, at the very beginning, when we got issued this project after Project 1, I had a very simple and straight to the point research question. It was something like, how does being physically active help a student academically? I'm a first year college student, so for the past 4 years in high school, I was a student athlete. I played junior varsity baseball my freshman year and varsity baseball my sophomore through senior years. For me, baseball was my escape from all the stress and drama that high school brought towards me. Because I had been playing for 10 years before high school, I found it very easy to close the gap between outside league baseball and high school baseball, competition wise. To continue playing baseball, I had to make sure that I passed every class with a 70 average or above. The University Interscholastic League has a rule that states no pass, no play. Because of this rule, I pushed myself harder than I ever had in school to make sure I was eligible to play the game that I love. After some more thought and consideration, I realized that my research question was way too broad. I decided to narrow it down to a more focused group in high school athletes. So, for my secondary research, I read articles online from different professors and researchers from across the country that had the same question that I did. To what extent do high school athletics push students to do better in school than non-athletes? All three of my secondary sources had the same idea that high school athletics push students to do better academically. One that stood out the most was an article by Mike Krings that was published in the University of Kansas News Service. To write his research article, he got some of his own secondary research. The research that he used was a study done by two professors and researchers from the University of Kansas. They studied student athletes in the state and backed up his theory that high school athletes do better in school than non-athletes. The reason they do better is because they too have a rule in place that states that all student athletes must take at least 5 credit hours per semester if they wanted to compete in sports. For my primary research, I plan on conducting a survey with a female team and with a male team from my high school. I chose a male and a female team because I felt that keeping it all one gender was too narrow, and in order to get a more accurate viewpoint, I'd like to get both genders' opinions. I chose doing a survey because it's the least time consuming for the student athletes. It would be very difficult for the student athletes to set a time with me to sit down for me to interview them, so I figured to help them with their busy schedule, I would do a survey. With this survey, I hope to learn how other student athletes feel about academics and whether the no pass, no play rule affects them like it did me. My theory is that high school athletes perform better in school than non athletes. Due to the experiences that I went through in the past 4 years, I believe that my theory is shared throughout the entire athlete student body. My secondary research also helped me back up my theory because even students in other states felt the same way that I did. The threshold concept that I used was that all knowledge is based on prior experiences. I use this concept because it fits my theory perfectly. As a student athlete, you've played a sport for years, so you know from past experiences how to play the game. However, once you start competing in school, you get that no pass, no play rule. You try your best and keep your grades up. However, you see some of your friends and teammates suffer in school and lose their eligibility to play with your team. Those experiences push you to do the best that you absolutely can, that way you don't go through the same thing that your teammates did. In conclusion, so far, my theory is being proven by my secondary research. Once I complete my primary research, I will have a better understanding as to what other student athletes believe and whether they have the same opinion that I do.